Why are you defending Christianity? Aren't you an atheist?
Because you're dumb. Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm starting it with this, but today I want to talk about Jesus, and it will look like I'm defending Christianity. Because unfortunately, Muslims very often try to convince themselves or Christians by posting stuff about Christianity or Jesus, and trying to spread this piece of propaganda that Jesus was a Muslim. I'm talking about this post here, which I came across, which says Jesus was a Muslim. And then it lists a bunch of facts with references without directly quoting anything. Let's jump right into them and fact check them. If you are somebody who is enticed by nonsense like this, stay here, listen, and tell me if I'm right or wrong. And then show me why I'm totally wrong and why Jesus was actually a Muslim. I dare you. The first one is Jesus believed in only one Allah. John 17:3. Okay, Christians also learn that there is only one God. The doctrine of the Trinity is considered a part of the belief in one God. Christians don't believe that there are multiple gods. If you actually look at John 17:3, it says, "And this is eternal life, that they may know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom you have sent." Does this say that there is no Son? No, on the contrary. If you actually start reading John 17 from the beginning, it says, Jesus spoke these things, and raising his eyes to heaven said, "Father, the hour has come, glorify your Son, so that the Son may glorify you. Just as you gave him authority over all mankind, so that to all whom you have given him, he may give eternal life." So Jesus may give eternal life. And 2 verses later, Jesus even says that he existed together with the Father before the world existed. Look, I don't believe in Christianity. I don't believe in this, and I don't believe in your book. But if you want to quote the Gospels to make your point, and you want to use that as propaganda, then this has to be turned around. And then everyone can easily see right here that your propaganda is full of crap. Because if you take the actual context and take the whole chapter as it is, without just referencing a point, then it turns out that this text is completely incompatible with your own religion. Jesus believed he was a messenger of Allah. John 17:3, same. John 7:28 and John 8:42. In the part we just read, it never implies that he's just a messenger. John 7:28 doesn't say anything like this. It actually says, "You both know me, and you know where I am from, and I have not come of myself, but he who sent me is true, whom you do not know." And in the next verse it says, "I do know him, because I am from him, and he sent me," implying that he shares a nature with God. Which is why in the next verse people want to arrest him, but they don't. I mean, you really want to quote the Gospel of John of all? Muslims, do you know how John starts? It starts with, "In the beginning was the Word," which is Jesus, "and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him and apart from him." You have to accept this book as authentic or not. If you think everything that is bad in here is made up and everything that is in alignment with Islam is authentic, then that's extremely dishonest and extremely stupid. John 8:42 again doesn't say anything like that. It says, "I came from God," while he speaks to the Pharisees and says that their father is the devil. In the end of this chapter, Jesus says, "Before Abraham was born, I am," referring to himself as pre-existing while quoting the words of God in the Hebrew Bible, who refers to himself as I am. And the Jews perceive this as clear blasphemy and try to stone him. And this is your proof that he was a Muslim? Jesus submitted his will to Allah. Mark 3:31-35 says nothing except whoever does the will of God is my brother. Matthew 7:2 something, I bet it refers to 21, says, "Not everyone who says to me, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven will enter." Here Jesus himself even says, "Many of you will come and say to me, Lord, Lord," and Jesus will say to them, "I never knew you." Jesus is in charge of whether they go to heaven or not. Jesus was circumcised. Luke 2:21. Wow. A Jewish man in a Jewish environment was circumcised. I'm shaken. I'm shocked. I'm surprised. The circumcision of Jesus is known within Christianity and depicted on old paintings that are classics. How in the world does this make him a Muslim? Jews are circumcised. People in America are circumcised. Does that mean they are all Muslims? Does it mean Jews are Muslims? Jesus never ate and despised pork. Source? Trust me, bro. There is no single source in which it says that Jesus despised pork and that he never ate pork, although you could think that he probably never did, because it was not a thing in his environment, and he kept the law himself. But within Christianity, it is believed, as the New Testament says, that anything created is pure. But Jews don't eat pork, like many other things that they also don't eat. Does that mean they are Muslims? No. That would make Jesus a Jew at best. Jesus had a beard and dressed modestly like a Muslim. Again, no source. But if so, so what? People had beards back then. It was considered a pious thing to do. Jews had beards. Many of them have beards. Many Christians have beards. People of different religions have beards. Does Jesus anywhere prescribe for people to keep their beard? No. Does that make him a Muslim? No. Jesus taught to rinse before praying, as Muslims do, implying that Jesus instructed people to do the ablution, which Muslims do before they pray. John 13:10. This is not true. The reference here talks about Jesus himself washing the feet of his disciples before the Last Supper, not before any prayer. And he also never instructs them to perform some ablution. On the contrary, it says here, he who has bathed needs only to wash his feet. Otherwise, he's completely clean. And you are clean, but not all of you. This is a special, certain occasion. This is not about every prayer. Whoever posts stuff like this has no clue what they're talking about and doesn't bother checking these sources at all. This is either very stupid or very deceptive, or ignorant, or all of them together, I don't know. Jesus prayed with his face on ground, Matthew 26:39. This only talks about one incident where Jesus goes down on his face and prays. Whereas Jesus also prays in different ways throughout the Gospels, and never prescribes that kind of prayer. This is only one occasion where he does it himself. And in the same verse, he also says, "My Father," as the Son of God. This is a terrible point. In this chapter, Jesus even confirms that he will be killed and that his blood will flow for the forgiveness of humanity. Does Islam accept these things? No, it rejects them very brutally. But let's just ignore all of that and pick that one little part where it says he fell on his face and prayed. Jesus used the greeting of peace and taught his disciples to greet each other. I don't even want to check the sources here. Yes, Jesus said to people, "Peace be with you." You know who also did that? The people of Jesus' society, Jews, who say Shalom Aleichem, who said that before Jesus and before the Muslims, from whom the Muslims adopted the Islamic, Arabic Salamu Alaikum. Wow, amazing. My mind is blown right now. Look, it's blown. It turns out again that Jews were Muslims all along because they say Shalom Aleichem. Jesus forbade interest. Exodus 22:25. Exodus is the Hebrew Bible, the Torah. So what is being implied here, I guess, is that Jesus was God and he forbade interest. I don't even know how to explain this, but if you are a Muslim and you want to use biblical sources and pretend that the things that Jesus says in there are in alignment with the Islamic religion, which is why Jesus was a Muslim, then why in the world would you say that Jesus forbade interest and then reference Exodus, which implies one of two things. Jesus also forbade interest because the Hebrew Bible says that it's forbidden. That's, however, illogical and unsupported. Or Jesus is considered God by Christians and thereby must have forbidden interest because it is forbidden in the Hebrew Bible. But how can you as a Muslim quote that while entirely rejecting the idea that Jesus is God? That's just so dumb. I don't even know how to. What is forbidden in the Hebrew Bible is usury, and it is debated what usury actually is, because usury is a charged word, meaning extorting people whom you give a loan by taking large amounts of money from them, which is not the same as interest in modern times, for example, where a fixed amount is put on a loan to get things going. It's not quite the same logic, but that's a different discussion. This meme is certainly wrong. Jesus fasted for more than a month, Matthew 4:2. Yes, Jesus himself, according to this source, fasted for 40 days and nights. Does it say anywhere that Jesus also told people that they must fast? No. Does it say that this was the month of Ramadan? No. This was Jesus himself fasting, like Moses himself fasting which was not prescribed to everybody. Funnily enough, Jesus also says, according to the Gospels, that when you fast, you should not look somber like the hypocrites. You should take care of yourself and not make it obvious to the people that you are fasting. That only God should know this, and that only God, who knows in secret that you are fasting, will reward you. Does this sound like the way Muslims fast? Jesus did not worship or wear the cursed cross. Wow. Amazing logic. Why would Jesus wear something that before his crucifixion didn't have any meaning at all? Why would Jesus wear something which would make him remember himself on the cross before he was crucified? Genius. Christians don't worship the cross. If you want to apply that logic, then many people could say that Muslims worship varieties of things, like the Kaaba, for example. Christians worship the man on the cross, which is why they wear crosses or have cross symbols, in order to remember Jesus and his sacrifice. That's what it symbolizes. Some Christians, like the Catholics or Orthodox, have Jesus depicted on the cross. Others, like the Protestants, only have a cross because they abstain from putting the picture on there. Christians are also not supposed to hate the cross because it is God's plan, and Jesus announces it in advance, according to the Gospels, that this crucifixion will happen for the forgiveness of all humanity. Agree with it or not, I don't, but understand and represent it correctly, otherwise it's pretty embarrassing. Jesus never got drunk. Wow, nice choice of words. How about, did Jesus ever drink? You can't put that here, and by the way, I don't see a source here at all, because it's possibly not true. I'm not going to imply that the people who make memes like these would actually be honest to the source, even if there was one. But still, Christians might find it acceptable that Jesus probably never got drunk or didn't get drunk frequently. But objectively speaking, you have no source in which you can argue that Jesus was definitely never drunk. You could say that Jesus was not a drunkard, which is different. That is somebody who is habitually drunk, and that is condemned in the Gospels. On the other hand, Jesus turns water into wine in one of his famous miracles, and joins the congregation where people drink wine. He makes his disciples drink wine, and he describes eating bread and drinking wine as a regular thing. So if you want to be so rigid here, how about we talk about drinking wine? If Jesus is supposed to be a Muslim and Muslims completely condemn alcohol, then why did Jesus drink or share, make other people drink, and not condemn wine? Go ahead. Jesus preached jihad. This is the dumbest, most ridiculous thing on here by far, and I'm kind of glad that it's at the bottom. Luke 22:35-36. Let's see what those verses say. And he said to them, "When I sent you out with money belt and bag and sandals, you did not lack anything, did you?" They said, "No, nothing." And he said to them, "But now, whoever has a money belt is to take it along, likewise also a bag. And whoever has no sword is to sell his cloak and buy one." Wow. And this apparently means that Jesus preached jihad. Holy war and conquest, fighting for Allah, for God. Amazing. Jesus says, "Buy a sword," to his disciples. And later on, he also says, "Whoever lives by the sword will die by the sword." And when one of his disciples uses the sword to defend Jesus and cuts off the ear of one of the high priests who came to arrest Jesus, Jesus rebukes this and goes and heals the ear according to the Gospels. Did Jesus at any point command fighting and conquering? Did he ever say, "Take up your swords and go and fight and conquer the world and spread this religion"? No. Did he say, "Subjugate your enemies until they obey you and pay protection money"? No. The teachings of Jesus, according to the Gospels, are love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. If they slap you, turn your other cheek. If they forcibly take you somewhere, go another step with them. Don't hate anybody. Forgive everybody. and so on. That's the accurate description. Now, you may want to come and say, don't defend Christianity, but this is what you guys do. You misrepresent things, you twist them in such a wicked way in order to propagate your own religion. When we then point out the actual facts, you start saying, don't protect Christianity. What are you? You're an atheist. Let me preach my propaganda in peace. Imagine, Jesus said, buy a sword, and that apparently means, according to these people, Jesus preached jihad. So that would basically mean, if I tell people, buy a gun, then that means I'm telling them to go to war and conquer different nations. I think it's a good idea on my part to go and buy a gun for self-protection. Oh no, look, I just preached war and conquest. Wow! Jesus said righteous deed is the only way to paradise. It talks about how only those whose righteousness surpasses Pharisees and the scribes will enter the kingdom of heaven. And Christians among themselves then argue about whether faith alone is enough or faith with works together is necessary, which is a Christian debate within, and doesn't say anything about whether Jesus was a Muslim or not. Yet some people go around sharing this post, while hundreds or thousands of Muslims react to this and love this and share this, without knowing what in the world they are sharing. I don't think any real human actually was a Christian and saw something like this and then converted to Islam because of these. You can't be that dumb. Thank you for listening. Dear Muslims, do better. Thank you. Like this video and share it. Meanwhile, I will go and buy myself a knife, which of course means I am going to war and I will conquer Mexico. If you want to support me on my mission to conquer Mexico, support this channel on apostateprofit.com/donate or on Patreon, so that I can conquer even more countries. Maybe one day we will even conquer Mecca, because today I'm buying a knife. I will see you soon. Have a fantastic day. And remember, if you take a shower, that means you're a Muslim. Even if you wash your hands after eating or after going to the bathroom, that means you're washing yourself before prayers, and that means you are doing whatever Muslims do before they pray 5 times a day, and that means you are a Muslim, and so on. Anyway, you are a Muslim if you breathe, if you drink water, if you go to the bathroom. With that, have a fantastic day and stay away from Islam.